Hi peeps, welcome to my show. I'm Renato. Quick one. Past 12 years. No, hang on. That's not a quick one. Okay. I can't do this right now. Way too tired. And I don't care. What I'm talking about? Woke. Woke came around, I don't know, 2010, 2012, really. Hijacked all the causes. From being gay to being trans to being black to being whatever. Hijacked it, used it for their own cause, destroyed the legacy of anyone they hijacked, and then blamed the normal population for stating that it was already normal before they hijacked it. We didn't care. Nobody cares. Nobody cares if you're gay. Nobody cares if you're a lesbian. Nobody cares if you're trans. Nobody cares if you're black or white or yellow or red or green or blue or purple. Nobody gives a rat's ass. It's all a fairy tale. It's make believe. But when you're annoying as fuck, you're not going to get to hear it. And it has nothing to do with any of that shit they hijacked. Because that's what they do. You say something like, hey, you can't do that. You say that because you're a racist. And it was on purpose. And it was started under. It started earlier. With Obama, I suppose. The first president of color. No problem. Another term for Obama. No problem. And then it started. Not particularly woke, but certainly the left agenda. Because there was a certain person who ran for president who they didn't particularly take seriously until he won. Just before he won, until he won, after he won, and after he left office. And 4 years after that, during their term, the Democrats, and especially the left, or the crazy left, I'd say, the leftoids, the libtards, I don't know what all the terms are. I do know what all the terms are. I don't particularly like to use them because that sounds the thing is, they're really brainwashed. So what happens is they believe the brainwashing machine man, another thing. It was all so transparent. And I called it at every turn. And they all went like, no, what you're saying is not true. You're a... Sure, I was wrong, right. Yep, I was right. Every single time. And they couldn't handle it. They even suspended me at one point on the biggest platform on earth. It was all so obvious. Even on the day itself, the January 6th, I'm watching on television. I mean, even the day before, I even predicted, like, hang on, there's going to be lots of people, and there's going to be no security, or hardly any security, or no barriers, no nothing. And so that means if the protest gets hijacked, they can blame the protesters, and then they can officially ratify the outcome of the election, which is clever. And I'm like, nah, they're probably not that able to do that. Are they? Would they? I'm watching that on that day, and I'm like, that's a shill. That's a shill. Why do they open the doors? Stuff you didn't get to see, right? Because I'm not in America. I'm in the Netherlands. I get different footage, okay? Actual footage of that day. Not edited or screened. So I'm watching that, I'm like, looks like an obvious hijack of the protest to further the cause of the left. Because they want the president to take power, their president. And I'm like, hang on, this guy won overnight, and all of a sudden you can see the curve of the electoral votes, and I'm like, I didn't say that properly. Of all the votes, I'm like, hey, that cannot. And then every statistic just shows. I'm like, this is rigged. And that's exactly what a lot of people thought. So they wanted to have a recount, which is fair. But they stopped that. They knew they were going to protest, so they hijacked the protests so they could turn it against them. That's what they did. They jailed a lot of protesters. None of the chills were jailed. Poor woman got shot. Some people lost their lives through medical conditions, and I think one maybe. It's all very unfortunate. It should never have happened. But there was no security. Why was there no security? Because they wanted it to happen, so they could use it. And then the following 4 years, everything they said was basically a lie. And it was so obvious. And we just countered it with facts and logic. And no, we were all wrong. We were all conspiracy theorists. No, we have a brain and eyes. And we think independently. At least I do. And the best part is when Americans are telling me that I don't know jack about their country. Sure, keep telling yourself that. Yes, I'm gloating. Of course I'm gloating. I've won. For 8, maybe even, yeah, well, I've been 8 years, I've been on that platform. And from the start, the left was just ridiculous, and it got even more ridiculous, and it just got absurd, and then it got almost to the point of evil. And that's one thing I can't abide, and that's evil. But here's the thing. I like toying with evil. If evil rears its head, I'm gonna F it up. And that's what I did on Twitter. If someone was really basically evil in their agenda, I picked them apart. And they hated me for it. But hey, I'm just a small account. I was kept small. Everything, all my, but I'm like 700 for O in debates. I don't lose debates. Nah, nah. In these past 4 years, it was just, and poor Joe. I mean, they propped up the. I'm just gonna say they propped up an ice cream zombie and a cackling hag as a vice president. I mean, even the presidential debates in 2020 or 19, clear winner for one candidate, and then the mainstream media goes clear winner for this candidate. And then I knew the mainstream media was in on it, and then all the agencies were in on it, and then all the social media was in on it, and it was basically the same. It was basically, in actual fact, practically it's 1984. It's Big Brother is watching you. It's a mix of communism and fascism. Uh, 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 uh. I'm the European here. You know nothing about communism or fascism. We do. So stop throwing these terms around. You don't know jack about communism or jack. Yeah, but we fought you. Shut up. No, seriously. I don't want to hear it. You have no idea. In actual fact, again, America or the USA is a sort of a mix between a communist, communist. It's real. It's real. Don't get me wrong. I love America. I love America. Fascinating. But it is a mix between like the Roman Empire and it's really weird and really fascinating. Point is, or actually, it's not a point. Thing is, we got everyone's got a democracy, but we have a state form. The Netherlands is a different type of state form. That's not a word. You know what I mean. Than the United States. The United States is a constitutional republic. I think we're a what was it? Constitutional monarchy. We're not a democracy. Bucket stops at the king or queen. Bucket stops at your president. But here's the thing. Pushing a narrative is very dangerous. It's very divisive. It costs people's lives. People start doing weird stuff. People get hurt just because you push your narrative because you want something. You don't care for people. That is so evil. And that's why the new president, who is totally against that, who is incorruptible and cannot be bribed, that's why he's such a big enemy of the left. And get one thing straight. The Netherlands is a liberal left country for so long now. I grew up liberal left. I'm all for all freedoms. But it's Dutch liberal left, which means it's very practical. It needs to work. If it doesn't work, we don't want to know. So it's not a true liberal thought. It's more of a, hey, you do your thing, I do my thing. As long as we get along, get the thing done, fine by me. If you want to dress up like that, if you want to look like that, if you want to be like that, fine by me. No probs. Just we're gonna get this job done, and then we're gonna have some beer, and then we're gonna talk about it, and then no props. What's my point? Um, so to be tolerant, you have to first off, you have to accept yourself. Secondly, you may not like the other person. You still gotta accept them for who they are. If you don't like the other person at all, you still gotta respect them for who they are. You gotta be wary, because there must be a reason why you don't like them, or there isn't. You're just delusional, and that's the case with people with TDS. They think they hate that person. They're just brainwashed. So many people have been brainwashed by the narrative, by the left and the mainstream media, that it actually poisoned their minds. Their relationships are worse. They're they're unhappy, and not. And then there's the food, and then there's the health insurance and the health care, and there's the housing, and the minimum wage, and the structure, infrastructure. It just keeps going on and on. And now inflation as well. There's no vision. Where's your vision? You're the greatest country in the world, and all you do is make money. Everybody's got to make money. And then what? Then what? The other guy is always going to have more or less than you. Are you going to point his finger at him and say, ha, I got more money than you? And then the other guy comes along and says, hey, but I got more money than you. And you're like, that's no life. There is no happiness in wealth. Or gathering wealth just for the purpose of gathering wealth. There's no happiness in that. So that odd communist / capitalist system is we got the same here, right? I work a minimum wage job. I make no money. No money. I can still live and actually do all my stuff that I want to do. I can't do anything extra, but I'm lazy. I ain't lazy. How shall I put it? Laborly challenged. The solution is very simple. Don't believe the narrative. Think for yourself. Do your own homework. Look up multiple sources. Listen to the things that you don't want to hear or that you even hate. So set aside your emotion make an analysis, then use your emotion and see if it still fits. If it doesn't fit, you're wrong. Or you're off. I shouldn't say you're wrong. You're off. Something is off. Either your logic is off or your emotion is off. And when you find out your emotion is off and you find out you've been duped, here's a story. In between 1996 and 1999, I'd say, I was in the club scene, housing, Eurohouse, house dance clubs, small house dance clubs, like very tiny, and about maybe 20 to 30 people showed up on these Saturday or Friday nights. But it's house. That means everyone comes. And it doesn't matter if you're any color or that you are of any particular sexual preference, or if you're butch, or if you're handicapped, or if you're none of that matter. I was dancing on the dance floor. There's a gay left to me. There's a dyke to the right me. Yeah, I'm using those terms. There's a trans. There's a maybe not a trans, but certainly a drag, and that's normal. You're in a house club. Now, if I'm sitting in church and I see that, I shouldn't say that. That's not very nice. But if I see, you don't see that in church. You know what I mean? So there's a time and place for everywhere, and that's where woke went wrong. They hijacked the causes, and they sprayed it all over. They shoved it down everybody's throats. Now everyone's sick of, and it has a backlash on the real people you say you fight for, but you actually hijacked. For people that I danced with, they actually tell me, like, I'm so sick of woke. Yeah, I know. You're hijacking your cause. Yeah, I know. I'm so gonna get banned for this. You can't say that. I can say anything I like. It's freedom of speech. I can even say weird stuff and totally not good stuff. Of course I won't. I have a filter. It's called being Christian. Doesn't mean I don't think that, want that, all that stuff. I can imagine it, but I'm sane. And there's the difference. I'm not insane. I'm sane. For sane people, it's extremely hard to stay calm and focused. That's the hardest part, because I can't lash out. I've seen myself lash out. It's not a pretty sight. First off, I always win. I just don't want to. Why? There's no point. Unless you threaten me, then you might be in trouble. I usually win that too as well. Not with a just with a certain attitude. You could argue people. There's not a one person ever in my life that hasn't been touched by me, unless they're really, really, really off the scale. I've actually saved quite some lives, between 10 and 20. Certain actions, certain But I've also lost people. You can't save anyone, everybody. That's also very hard. Question is always, who's gonna save me? Jesus Christ. In conclusion, past 12 years, actually past 16, maybe 24 years, you could see the world globalized with internet as well. Um, Social media, the fact that everyone's got a phone. I mean, not too long ago that was a non-reality, and now, so and it's not like we don't like the left or think that the left is crazy. No, we think you've been brainwashed and you're delusional, which is different from that. We Some of you are absolutely crazy. You got those people on the right as well, absolute crazy. But a tiny, tiny, tiny minority. Most of the Americans you can see in the election are just in the middle, just slightly on the right or slightly on the left. No one is extreme. Maybe, no, no one's extreme except for the extreme. And you gotta accept that the rural population is voting Republican and that the city population is voting Democrat on the whole. And the cities are the most populated, so it is an equal balance. If the votes were, then the country would always be Democrat because of the cities, and that's not fair. It's not fair to the rural population, the rest of the country, to just give them the finger and say, "Hey," but you expect food from them. You expect it's just so. And this consumer capitalism is just bullshit. Total BS. How much meat can you eat? How much soft drink can you drink? How much fast food can you shove into your face? How many cars do you need to own? And it's not about the amount or the. Of course, everyone needs a car, loves a car. I live in the Netherlands. I don't need a car, but I understand. I've been to the States. You need a car, and that's annoying. You can't even go in your bike. You're gonna get hit by a car because they're gonna go like, "This is our road." I'm off topic, but concluding, right? You got lots more in common than you think. It's the division created by the woke deep state, if you like, that actually had an effect. And me, as an outsider, I'm watching it and I'm like, it's unbelievable that so many people fall for this. It's unbelievable. But I've been to the States. It's not unbelievable. I'm like, wow. So it's not unbelievable. It's actually quite logical. And therein lies the evil. They know. They know people are going to fall for it. I'm not sure. I don't know on what side of the spectrum you are. You may disagree with me on everything I say. You may agree with me on everything I say. It doesn't really matter. You got to figure out for yourself where you're at. And if you think you're allowed to think what you think, I have no problem with that at all. I'm just saying what I'm saying. I'm usually never wrong about anything. Here's my prediction. It's going to go swell the next 4 years. That's it. Everybody's going to benefit. Everybody. So my advice is stop the divisive narrative. It only yields war, death, destruction, disease. The 4 no topics. I got a 5th one, but I'm not mentioning that. It's your country. I have nothing to say over your country, about your country. Who am I to say anything? I'm just observing. What I observe is you've been hijacked for a very long time. And because of the media and the social media and the way information is distributed, it was all very obvious that it went into a big fat narrative. And it just didn't add up from the beginning. So, it's another month until the 20th of January. I'd say keep it cool, stay low, don't do jack. Just chill. Have a mental vacation. Start afresh. I mean, I don't hold anything against the Democrats or or anyone in the past 4 years. I know what they've done. I think there should be some repercussion, some consequences of their actions. But I don't care. I mean, I don't know them personally. I know what happened. I know there's a certain, but I never have emotions about it. Why would I? Well, actually, there's one thing that grates me, and that's I didn't talk about that. Let's see if I got enough room. Quick,